Lucasfilm, let's have a little talk. You wonder why no one is watching Star Wars anymore. You wonder why no one cares. You wonder why no one's staying at the Galactic Star Cruiser. You're wondering why no one is buying the High Republic books and they're ending up in the 99-cent bin. And then you go ahead and go, I think this is a great idea. It's not. Life Day merch? Really? You piled that stuff up on us last year at the Disney parks and it ended up in the bargain bin because nobody was buying it. This was the worst idea that came out of George Lucas era, and you think it's the best idea. George himself tried to erase the Star Wars holiday special from existence. Yes, has it gotten somewhat of a cult classic? Yeah, but not enough people care about it or even know about it to make you money. Why are you pushing this stuff? And you wonder why. Nobody cares about the best Star Wars show on Disney Plus that no one is watching. You're scratching your head and you're like, what are we doing wrong here? This is what you're doing wrong. You've got Rey and Chewbacca in a Life Day dress with BB-8 and you're like, yeah, that'll sell. Everybody loves that, don't they? Who is talking to you and why are you listening to them? Please take some time and listen to the fans. Oh, and it gets better. Why Lucasfilm is so worried about Star Wars' next movie? Well, you should be worried because nobody cares. That's the problem. Nobody cares. That's why you should be worried. You've taken the most powerful, beloved franchise and you flushed it down the toilet. Why isn't anyone staying at my hotel? Why isn't anyone buying the merchandise? Why isn't anybody watching our television show? That's why Star Wars, the once proud franchise where people would camp outside for weeks on end just to get a ticket to watch a movie, now has dwindled down to a low-level CW franchise. And man, is that sad to see. Let's get into the article, shall we? For the time being, the next Star Wars film is scheduled for a December 2025 theatrical release. The previous slated movie, Rogue Squadron, which you made a big announcement, which you had a little teaser, which you had the director come out and say all these things, which you did all these things saying, oh, it's going to be great. Now we're not getting it. Because this is typical Lucasfilm. Given the current trend at Lucasfilm, the odds of a movie being ready in 3 years' time almost seems like an impossibility. I agree. It's been abundantly clear for years that the internal turmoil has stalled the film development process for the company since the completion of the sequel trilogy. That was confirmed last week when Lucasfilm Senior Vice President Michelle was demoted. The producer was tasked with overseeing Rogue Squadron's development in addition to other new films and was relieved of her duties following too many creative difficulties. Yeah, people don't want to make a Star Wars film. People don't want to work with you, Lucasfilm. They don't. They don't want to be controlled. They don't want you like hovering all over them saying, you got to do this and you got to do that and you got to do this. I mean, listen, the check that you wrote J.J. Abrams to come back and try to salvage the sequel trilogy. I mean, he didn't even want to come back. When J.J. Abrams doesn't want to take your money and you literally have to force, beg, and grovel just for him to come back and make that kind of crap of a film and you go, I guess it's okay. Good job, JJ. That's telling and pathetic. Now, 3 years removed from the last silver screen experience, Star Wars fans are itching to get back into theaters for a journey into the galaxy far, far away. That time is still a few years away at best. I'm saying, and I'm going on record, we will never see a Star Wars film in theaters until there's new management. We will not. I'm just telling you, that's my prediction. And so far, I have been correct. With so much riding on the next theatrical title, Lucasfilm executives are actually worried about the franchise's next step. Oh, they should be worried. They should be. Because if you release a Star Wars movie now and it flops, that is just the icing on the cake. That is the end of the IP. Star Wars is over. It's done. Lock it up in a safe and throw it in an ocean and don't ever look at it again until you find some competent people to run the company. Literally, the only thing you got going for you right now is Mandalorian. And how long are you going to squeeze that lemon till there's no more lemonade? Industry insider Matthew reported that Lucasfilm's grueling development time for the next Star Wars film is the result of a culture of fear and indecision. Yeah, it's easy to throw out trash on Disney Plus because you could say, well, We put something out there on Disney Plus and people can watch it whenever they want. So it doesn't have to be high budget. It doesn't have to be really good. We just wanted to put content out there for people to watch at their leisure, at their convenience. So it's okay, in their minds, just to throw out garbage on Disney Plus. But when it comes to the cinema, they got to make some money. They got to get it right. They can't mess this up. Lucasfilm's internal mantra for new movies is getting it right. Yeah, that's why they put the Kenobi series on Disney Plus, because no one agreed with the story. It was going back and forth until finally they were like, we're going to push it this way, so we might as well put it on Disney Plus, because if we put Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen out on the big screen and that movie bombs, we're all going to lose our jobs. So let's just throw it on Disney Plus. And, everyone will forget about how bad it was in a few weeks. The company eternally acknowledges that the sequels were rushed to meet aggressive release dates. And because you rushed it, because you didn't put a cohesive story, because you broke the lore, because you just trashed on the original trilogy and characters that we loved for years, you had a big mess on your hands. You had a big problem. You wanted to build a Star Wars land around the sequel trilogy. You wanted to build an expensive hotel around these characters that nobody really cares about anymore in the sequel trilogy because you rushed it. Listen, as a Star Wars fan, as long as you got it right and took the time, we're okay with it. The resulting trilogy was something Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy elected to play safe, choosing fan service and franchise management over creative swings. What the heck are you talking about? Where was the fan service in that? You killed off Han, you killed off Luke and Leia, whatever. I mean, what the heck was that all about? You didn't even put the original people together just for 5 minutes, Most of us old heads, that's all we really wanted. You blew it. There was no fan service there. You took Star Wars and you began to plunge it down the toilet. That was the start of the end. Many of the creative choices baffled Star Wars fans, and Kennedy herself has come to dislike her decisions. What? Honestly, I don't agree with that. If she disliked her decisions, she wouldn't have built theme parks and hotels around the sequel trilogy. I think she's proud of her decisions, and she doesn't care what anybody says. A contributing factor in Lucasfilm's slow-moving development process is Kennedy's recognition that the next installment needs to actually be good. Might be too late for that. Most important is that the next films is rooted in what fans love about Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy is making life more difficult for herself than it needs to be. The same can be said for the rest of Lucasfilm's senior executive. Every Star Wars fan will appreciate the commitment to getting the next film right, but how Lucasfilm attempts to do so may spell doom for the project. Now, listen, here's the problem. You already destroyed many of our favorite characters. You already destroyed a lot of the lore. You've destroyed so much in Star Wars. I mean, it's just kind of like, what do you have now? The only way you could salvage this is if somebody wakes up and say, what a horrible dream. Okay, Han, let's go on a adventure. I don't know how you resolve all this. I honestly don't. You're going to have to go somewhere far away with characters we don't know and do Star Wars like that and hope that the new Star Wars fans will fall in love with these characters just like we fell in love with Han, Luke, and Leia. To me, that probably could be the only way. The rumors out there that you're going to do a Star Wars Episode 10 and bring back Rey and Poe and possibly Finn. Are you serious? Like, who is making these decisions and who is saying, that's a great idea? I know what's going to happen. They need to make a film and they need to put the Star Cruiser in the film so people will stay at that hotel. So they can say, look, it was in a film, because the comic books and the books and all the lore that you're changing with that Halcyon just ain't working for you, is it? It just ain't working for you. And I've been saying all along, Disney, send me an email. I'll be happy to stay at that place and give you an honest review, but I don't think they want honesty. They just want money. So here we are. What do you guys think? I think Lucasfilm is a mess. I think nothing will change and nothing will be good until there's a change in leadership. And then they need to just pause, take a breather, and just literally like start over. Like how some of these other franchises go, Hey, remember like movie number 2 and 3 and 4? Yeah, we're going to forget about all that and just go to this film right here. So just don't worry about those sequels. We're just going to jump right into this. They need to look in some of the book trilogies that were out there that were excellent. It's already written for you right there. You just got to open a book and go, okay, we'll follow this. Stop hiring activists to write stories that nobody cares about. I mean, that's just the beginning. Star Wars is a mess. And I don't know how in the world are they going to pull themselves out of this one. It starts with the leadership and then it will trickle down. That's my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. This is Jay. We'll catch you next time.